Hi everybody, I'm Arnold Zigarelli of the Azazu Hair Salon in downtown Pittsburgh. I think you'll like my topic today. It's one that many hairdressers ask me about and many clients ask me about. It deals with what in the United States we call creating a bang. Now, when we were in England teaching, they called it a fringe, but it's the same basic principle. I'm going to show you a couple different key principles that might help it easier for you to explain to your hairdresser the kind of bang you want, because there's all different types. Let's start with the principle. First, this is a rounded object, the head. This is a straight object. Now, what you want to learn to do is where the comb stops touching the head. That area is called a forelock. You could cut any bang you want here. And the reason you measure it off like that, if by chance I go further back than this and I cut this hair short, it's going to stick over here and stick out. So you want to stay with just the forelock. And again, there's how you tell how much hair you use, where the comb stops touching the head. See that? So flat against, round, it'll stop touching. All right, let's start with the longest one. And you can do this with scissor or razor. If the hair's strong and stiff, you might want to use a razor. If the hair's fine and weak, you might want to use shears. But just for the sake of making you see the principle, the first one I do is the longest one, and it is called a blended bang. This is where it's quite long because you want it to blend into the sides. So I take this section here, I make the length that I want it to be, which is usually about a little below the bottom of the eye, and I shape this so you can see that's a little longer, isn't it? So you're right about here with that, and I'll clean that off with shears in a moment. Take the next section, you comb it into the first section, and you lift it up until the bottom drops off, and you blend that. So you blend B into A, then you're going to blend C into B. The length of stroke you take depends on how much taper, how much point you want on the ends. So if you want real skinny and light, you take longer strokes. Now, I'm going to show you the same thing with a scissor, just so you understand. The tool is relative to your desired effect. Razoring points the hair more, scissor blunts it more. All right, so that's the length I want. Now let's say I wanted to do it a little more bluntly. You see, it's the same thing. I take the hair, hold it, and usually I will blend that like that. B into A. See, so the tool is relative to how much taper you want on the ends. Now, when you comb this across, let me show you what happens. The hair just is beautiful. It's very youthful. Many women like it. Some people call it a side bang. So it comes across, it's longer, it's sexier, and it moves into the sides. So it's usually below the bottom of the eye. All right, that's the first one I wanted to show you. And again, that is a long bang. Now, let's cut it into what we normally cut on a bang. Again, you use your same principle. Where the comb stops touching the head, you have your forelock. You don't want to touch this hair, that affects the side. Now, here is probably the most popular bang. You take the hair, so you can communicate better with your hairdresser. And what I'm going to do, the hair from here to my thumb and here to my thumb travels a greater distance than the center. This travels a short distance. Longer. So this hair is going to be shorter in the center and get a little longer, cover receding hairlines. So again, my thumbnail is on the top of the strand. I'm not bunching. What I'm doing is holding it like this. Remember that cowlicks make bangs tricky, so make sure about cowlicks. Second, when hair dries, it shrinks a little bit. So leave it a little longer than you want it. Now this bang is usually to where the eyelashes would be with the eyes closed. So I take this hair, pull it to a point, thumbnail on top. Now remember, where the eyelashes with the eyes closed. So now you'll see the difference between this fringe or bang than the first one. This doesn't travel as far. Now, what happens when you drop this, as you can see, I brought it to a point. This travel, look what happens. I mean, it's just so pretty and easy. Look at this. Now I'm going to tell you something about bangs. If you have wrinkles in your forehead, bangs are terrific. If you find you have a larger profile or a dominant profile, bangs are very flattering. They play up the eyes. The other big advantage, they're so easy to work with. You can take them across, bring it down on the forehead like that. Now, the third bang I want to show you, excuse me, is a blunt bang. Some people call this an Asian bang. Eyebrow. Now, this is more blunt and more definite. You see this many times with the Asian people. It looks so good with their bone structure. So, a bang, youthful, softens your features, has a lot of style to it, and the fact that if you have any wrinkles, it makes you look more youthful. Now, if you wear glasses, you might not want to take the bang straight down. You might want to just take it over a little bit and let it break up. Okay. Now, the last one is an extreme cut, but many famous models have worn this. This is where you cut it about half the distance to the forehead and the hairline. So this is a club cut. Blunt, just like the other one. This one you need to be pretty attractive to wear it because it's so extreme. So let's review the importance. First, make sure you take only the right amount of hair. Second, the first one I showed you was a blended bang. Remember that one? Brought it across. The second one I showed you, I brought it to a point, cut it to where the eyelashes be with the eyes closed, and that is the most popular bang. The degree of how much you sharpen it depends on how blunt or tapered you want it to be. Then I showed you the Asian bang, which is right above the eyebrows, and then you have your exaggerated cut. You see this, but you remember now, you got to be pretty attractive to wear it. The softer the bang, the more flattering it is to your eyes and your profile. So my topic today was the importance of a bang, why I taught it. I thought it might help you communicate with your hairdresser even better. I'm Arnold Zigarelli. Lisa, thank you for helping me with photography. Bye, everybody.